Good evening, everyone. For my discussion today, I picked the book Reading the Bible with the Founding Fathers by Daniel L. Dreisbach. Specifically, I chose chapter 3, which is entitled The Bible and the Lives of the Founding Fathers. I thought this was a very unique chapter that discusses things that you just don't really hear, unfortunately, anymore. And it's the simple fact that in the revolution and in the early, pre-revolution, revolution, and even early America, the Bible was everything to the founding fathers and to the citizens of the United States. It was we were a very religious country at that time, and we used the Bible for public education, college education, and just in general, teaching kids how to read, things like that. And a lot of times tutors and even professors or teachers were clergymen. But specifically, this chapter discusses how most of the signers of the Declaration of Independence and our founding fathers were either very religious people or very knowledgeable in what the Bible had to say. And this is a quote from Claudia Setzer. This is a quote I got from a book called The Bible in the American Experience. And she states, quote, "From sea to shining sea, the American Bible has been America's most portable and protein traveling companion since the first decades of the 17th century," end quote. And it's very obvious from this chapter that that's true, because the chapter speaks about how every signer of the Declaration of Independence, many people in Congress, many people in the Continental Army, leaders, founding fathers like Washington and Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin, John Adams, all at the very minimum had a knowledge of what the Bible said and what it meant, and they understood it. And they believed in educating the people because they believed that that's how America would be the biblical country that many of them believed that America was supposed to be. In fact, Benjamin Justice said, and this is a quote from a book called Have a Little Faith, Religion, Democracy in the American Public School. He says, quote, "They saw a virtuous, educated populace and enlightened leaders as fundamental to the survival of the American Republic," end quote. And I just thought this was a fascinating chapter that truly tells you how wonderful the Bible is specifically, and how the founding fathers and the early Americans understood that. And sadly, I hate to say it, but they understand it better than we do today. Just a couple of quotes from the actual chapter itself. The author, Mr. Dreisbach, says, this is a quote by Patrick Henry that Mr. Dreisbach puts in the chapter. It says, "It is a book worth more than all other books that were ever printed." And again, that was a quote from Patrick Henry, one of the founding fathers. Another founding father, John Dickinson, said, "The book," referring to the Bible, "has done more good than all books in the world, would do much more if duly regarded, and might lead the objectors against it to happiness if they would value it as they should." I thought this was fascinating, and even the chapter goes on to say how a lot of the founding fathers either translated the Bible, such as Thomas Jefferson would translate it from Greek to English or Hebrew. They would also read the Bible in Hebrew, Latin, Greek, French, every language but English, and also English, And they would also talk about how they would create foundations like the American Bible Association so that they could get Bibles to the general public, so the general public could read it for themselves and be able to carry it with them and keep it on them. And I just thought it was a fascinating chapter about how much the Bible meant to early Americans and even to our founding fathers. And wouldn't it be a glorious thing to even our leaders today get such a love for the Bible like they did back then? Thank you.